Put your head down, because while the world is busy watching, winners are working. There comes a moment in every life when the noise becomes too loud. Opinions everywhere. Advice from people who never walked your road. Applause for shortcuts. Criticism for patience. And in that moment, the strongest move you can make is silence. Not silence of fear, silence of focus. Head down, eyes forward, hands to the work. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not hesitation. Silence is power under control. In a world that rewards noise, the disciplined choose focus. While others announce every move, every plan, every dream, you learn the value of keeping your head down and letting the work speak when the time is right. Because the truth is simply the moment you start explaining your goals, you invite distractions, opinions, doubts, and unnecessary pressure. And pressure, when it comes too early, can crush something that isn't fully built yet. Silence creates space, space to think, to grow, to fail, and to improve without an audience. It protects your energy. It shields your vision from people who don't understand it and never will. Not everyone needs to know what you're building. Some people don't want to see you win, others want to watch you fail. Silence keeps your plans safe while they mature. Just like seeds grow underground before breaking the surface, real success develops away from the spotlight. When you stay quiet, you move with intention. You stop chasing validation and start chasing progress. You stop performing for applause and start working for results. Silence removes the pressure to look successful and replaces it with the freedom to become successful. You're no longer distracted by reactions, likes, or approval. Instead, every ounce of energy goes into execution. One step, one rep, one late night at a time. There is a calm confidence in silence. It's the confidence of someone who knows where they're going and doesn't need to announce the journey. It's waking up early when no one is watching. It's working late when no one is cheering. It's choosing discipline over drama, patience over pride. Silence trains you to trust yourself, not the noise around you. And understand this, silence doesn't mean you lack ambition. It means your ambition is serious. It means you respect the process too much to rush it. Loud dreams are easy. Quiet execution is rare. Anyone can talk about what they're going to do. Few are willing to disappear for a while and actually do it. One day, the silence ends, not with words, but with results. And when it does, people will suddenly pay attention. They'll ask where you came from. They'll wonder how it happened so fast. But it wasn't fast. It was built in silence, brick by brick, mistake by mistake, day by day. So don't rush to be heard. Don't waste your strength explaining your vision to people who aren't invested in your journey. Keep your plans quiet. Keep your head down. Keep working. Because silence isn't empty. It's full of preparation. And when preparation meets opportunity, you won't need to say a word. The work will speak for you. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings are unreliable. They rise with excitement and disappear when the work gets heavy. One day you feel unstoppable, the next day you feel tired, uninspired, uncertain. If your progress depends on how you feel, your future will always be unstable. That's why the people who truly win are not the most motivated. They are the most consistent. Consistency is quiet discipline in motion. It's showing up when there's no spark. It's doing the work when you'd rather rest, when the results are delayed, when the effort feels invisible. Motivation says, I'll start when I'm ready. Consistency says, I'll start because it needs to be done. And that difference is everything. There will be mornings when your body is heavy and your mind is loud with excuses. Days when quitting feels reasonable. Nights when the goal feels far away and the sacrifice feels too big. Motivation won't save you in those moments. Consistency will. Because consistency doesn't argue with your emotions. It moves despite them. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It creates progress in imperfect ones. Small actions, repeated daily, build a force stronger than bursts of passion. 1 hour a day doesn't look impressive. One workout doesn't change a body. One page doesn't write a book. But stack those hours. Stack those workouts. Stack those pages. Over time, consistency compounds, and what once looked ordinary becomes unstoppable. That's how ordinary people achieve extraordinary results, not through intensity, but through endurance. Consistency also builds trust. Trust with yourself. Every time you show up, Even when you don't feel like it, you send a message to your mind, I can rely on me. That self-trust becomes confidence. And confidence is not loud, it's steady. It's rooted in proof, not promises. You stop needing external motivation because your identity changes. You're no longer someone who tries. You become someone who does. Motivation is emotional. Consistency is intentional. Motivation depends on inspiration. Consistency depends on commitment. One fades fast, the other survives storms. When life hits hard, and it will, motivation disappears first. Consistency stays because it's built on habit, not mood. The world praises intensity but rewards persistence. It applauds the explosive start, but it respects the long road. Anyone can go hard for a week. Few can stay committed for years. That's why consistency separates the dreamers from the builders. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. But it is reliable, and reliability wins. So don't wait to feel ready. Don't wait to feel inspired. Decide. Show up. Do the work again tomorrow and the day after that. Let consistency carry you when motivation can't. Because in the end, success doesn't belong to the most motivated. It belongs to the most consistent. Real progress doesn't make noise. It doesn't announce itself with applause or demand recognition. It moves silently, almost unnoticed, while the world is busy celebrating shortcuts and overnight stories. The most meaningful growth happens in the background, in the repetition, the patience, the long stretches where nothing seems to be changing. And that silence can be uncomfortable, especially when you're working hard and the results refuse to show up on schedule. Quiet progress tests your belief. It asks a difficult question every single day: will you keep going even if no one notices? Because there will be seasons where your effort feels invisible. No praise, no reward. No sign that you're moving forward. Just work, followed by more work. That's where most people stop, not because they're incapable, but because they mistake silence for failure. But silence is not stagnation. Roots grow in darkness. Strength builds under pressure. Skills sharpen through repetition long before they are seen. What looks like nothing happening is often everything happening beneath the surface. The foundation is being laid, the structure is forming, and foundations are never flashy. They are buried, unseen, and absolutely essential. The danger is comparing your quiet progress to someone else's loud results. Comparison steals patience. It convinces you that you're behind, that you're late, that you're wasting time. But timelines are not universal. Some people rise fast and fall just as quickly. Others move slowly and last longer than anyone expected. Quiet progress may not impress today, but it prepares you for tomorrow in ways shortcuts never can. When progress is quiet, discipline becomes your only companion. There's no applause to feed your ego, no recognition to keep you going. Just your commitment, just your standards, just the promise you made to yourself when no one else was listening. And that's where character is built. In the moments where quitting would go unnoticed, but continuing requires courage. Quiet progress also builds humility. It reminds you that mastery is earned, not declared. That improvement takes time. That becoming strong, skilled, or successful is a process, not a performance. You stop chasing attention and start chasing excellence. You focus on getting better, not getting seen. One day, the quiet work becomes visible. The skills speak. The results show up. People notice the growth and assume it happened suddenly. They don't see the years of silence behind it. They don't see the mornings you showed up tired, the nights you pushed through doubt, the days you wondered if it was worth it. But you know. And that knowledge becomes unshakable confidence. So don't fear the quiet. Don't rush it. Don't mistake it for lack of progress. Stay patient. Stay consistent. Stay focused. Because loud success without a quiet foundation collapses. But quiet progress, done with discipline and purpose, builds something that lasts. And when the noise finally comes, you'll be ready for it. Distraction doesn't arrive loudly. It doesn't kick the door down and announce itself as danger. It slips in quietly, disguised as comfort, entertainment, urgency, or opportunity. A notification here, an opinion there, a comparison that wasn't invited. And before you realize it, your focus is gone, split into pieces, scattered across things that don't move your life forward. Every distraction carries a cost. It steals minutes first, then hours, then days. It drains energy you'll never get back. And the most dangerous part is this distraction feels harmless in the moment. It feels like a break, like relief, like you're still moving. But you're not. You're standing still while time keeps walking. Focus is rare because distraction is everywhere. The world profits from your attention being divided. It rewards reaction over intention, noise over depth. But greatness demands isolation, not from people, but from pointless interference. You cannot build something meaningful while constantly responding to everything around you. Every yes to distraction is a no to your future. Distraction doesn't just slow progress, it weakens discipline. It trains your mind to chase comfort instead of commitment, to seek stimulation instead of satisfaction. And once your focus muscle weakens, even simple tasks feel heavy. The work hasn't changed, you have. Your attention has been trained to run, not to stay. The hardest part about fighting distraction is that no one else can see the damage. There's no alarm, no warning sign, just delayed dreams and unexplained frustration. You start wondering why you're working so hard but moving so slowly. The answer is simple: focus is being leaked in small, unnoticed ways. Protecting your focus means saying no, often. No to unnecessary conversations. No to endless scrolling. No to comparisons that poison your confidence. No to opinions from people who aren't building anything themselves. Focus requires boundaries, and boundaries make people uncomfortable. But comfort has never built anything extraordinary. When you eliminate distractions, clarity returns, your thoughts sharpen, your effort becomes intentional. You start finishing what you begin, momentum builds. And with momentum comes confidence, not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that comes from knowing you're doing the work that matters. The most successful people aren't more talented. They're more selective. Selective with their time. Selective with their energy. Selective with their attention. They understand that attention is currency. Spend it wisely or pay for it later with regret. So guard your focus like it's priceless, because it is. Turn down the noise. Simplify your environment. Create space to think, to work, to grow. You don't need to do more. You need to be interrupted less. Keep your head down. Lock in. Stay present with the work in front of you. Because when distraction loses its grip, progress accelerates. And when focus becomes your habit, success becomes inevitable. Hard work is often misunderstood. People think it's about exhaustion, about pushing until there's nothing left, about dramatic effort that looks impressive from the outside. But real hard work is quieter than that. It's not about how intense one day feels. It's about how consistently you show up over many days, even when nothing exciting seems to be happening. Because the true power of hard work is not in a single moment. It's in what it becomes over time. Every small effort you make is a deposit. One focused hour, one disciplined choice, one task completed when it would have been easier to delay it. On their own, these actions look insignificant, easy to ignore, easy to underestimate. But stack them, day after day, week after week, and something remarkable happens. They begin to compound. Just like interest, growth accelerates quietly, almost invisibly, until one day the results are undeniable. Compounding is why patience matters. You won't feel stronger after one workout. You won't feel skilled after one practice. You won't feel successful after one long night of effort. And that delay is what defeats most people. They expect immediate return on their effort, and when it doesn't arrive, they assume the work isn't working. But compounding requires faith. Faith in the process, faith in time, faith in repetition. Hard work compounds not only in results, but in identity. Every time you push through resistance, you become someone who doesn't quit easily. Every time you choose effort over excuses, you reinforce discipline. Over time, this changes how you see yourself. You stop asking, "Can I do this?" and start saying, "This is what I do." That identity shift is powerful because it makes consistency automatic. There will be days when the work feels heavy and the reward feels distant. Days when the progress curve feels flat, when you're giving more than you're getting. That's not failure. That's compounding in progress. The growth is happening beneath the surface, where it can't be measured yet. And just like compounding interest, the biggest gains come later, not early. The mistake is quitting before the curve turns upward. Walking away when the returns are just about to accelerate. Most people stop at the hardest point. right before the breakthrough. They don't realize that the effort they've already invested was setting the stage for exponential growth. Hard work compounds when others rest, when distractions are avoided, when discipline becomes routine. It turns ordinary days into extraordinary futures. Not because you did something dramatic once, but because you did something difficult consistently. So trust the accumulation, trust the process. Trust the days that feel repetitive and unrewarding. Keep showing up, keep working, keep stacking effort on effort, because hard work never disappears, it multiplies. And when it finally shows its full return, it will be worth every quiet, unseen moment you invested along the way. You don't need anyone's approval to chase your dreams. You don't need applause to justify your effort or recognition to validate your choices. The world has a way of measuring worth by attention, but attention is fleeting, unreliable, and often misdirected. True strength comes from believing in yourself when nobody else does, from taking steps forward when no one is watching, and from trusting your vision even if it feels lonely. Validation is a luxury, self-belief is a necessity. Too many people stall because they seek permission. They wait for someone to say, "You're ready? You can do this?" or "Go ahead." They pause for applause, for approval, for a nod from the outside world before moving. But life doesn't give permission. Opportunities favor the bold, the decisive, the relentless. Waiting for validation is waiting to be left behind. The moment you realize that the only approval you need is your own is the moment freedom begins. Self-validation is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It doesn't fluctuate with the opinions of strangers. It isn't distracted by envy, criticism, or comparison. It's a commitment to yourself, to your work, to your standards, to your growth. When you measure your worth by your actions, not by external acknowledgement, you build a foundation that no storm can shake. You become the authority in your own life. There will always be voices that question you, doubts that challenge you, and people who underestimate you. Some will try to pull you down with skepticism disguised as advice. Some will cheer for others while ignoring your progress. If you look for their approval, you'll lose momentum. But if you focus on your work, your consistency, and your discipline, those voices become irrelevant. They are noise, distractions in the path of purpose. No validation required also teaches resilience. When you stop depending on external affirmation, failures stop feeling like catastrophes. Criticism stops feeling like judgment. Setbacks stop feeling like rejection. Every obstacle becomes a lesson, every mistake a stepping stone. You stop fearing what others think and start fearing only stagnation. And that fear, the fear of not growing, not trying, not becoming, becomes the driving force that propels you forward. The people who achieve greatness are rarely the ones who seek attention while working. They are the ones who trust themselves, who honor their own vision, who keep building quietly and consistently. And eventually, their results speak louder than any validation could. When your work delivers, it validates itself. The recognition comes after, not before, and it is real because it cannot be taken away or denied. So stop asking for permission. Stop measuring your worth by applause or approval. Keep your head down. Keep moving. Keep trusting yourself. Every step you take in faith, every effort you put in without acknowledgement, every silent sacrifice, it is shaping a version of yourself that doesn't need the world to notice because you already know what you are capable of. Self-belief is enough. Self-belief is power. Self-belief is freedom. Words are easy. Anyone can talk about dreams, plans, and ambitions. Words can be loud, persuasive, and convincing. But words alone do not move mountains. Words do not change lives. Words do not create legacies. Actions do. Effort does, consistency does. Results speak louder than promises, declarations, or opinions. They are proof. They are truth. And they are undeniable. Too many people spend their energy announcing what they will do, explaining why they haven't started yet, or convincing others of their potential. But the world doesn't reward explanations. The world rewards outcomes. It doesn't remember who said they could do something. It remembers who actually did it. That's why those who achieve greatness often appear quiet, even unremarkable, at first. They don't feel the need to boast because their work is louder than any speech. Results are born in silence, in sweat, in persistence. They are cultivated in early mornings and late nights, in moments when nobody is watching. You can talk about your grind, but until you execute it day after day, the grind doesn't exist in reality. It exists only in imagination. And imagination without action is a story that will never inspire anyone, including yourself. The beauty of results is that they are immune to opinion. Critics can doubt, rivals can mock, and strangers can underestimate you. But results don't lie. They cannot be manipulated or ignored. They are the culmination of effort, discipline, and resilience. When you achieve them, there is no need to argue. There is no need to explain. The work has done the talking for you. And that truth carries far more weight than any promise ever could. The most successful people understand this. They focus on output, not approval. They measure their worth in accomplishments, not in applause. They know that every late night, every sacrifice, every step forward counts. Even if the world doesn't notice immediately. Eventually, results manifest, and they are irrefutable. They don't ask for recognition, they command it. Results also teach humility and patience. They remind you that the loudest voice in the room is not always the strongest, and that success is often invisible until it is undeniable. They reward those who show up consistently, who persevere through doubt, who trust the process even when the outcome feels distant. And when results arrive, they feel extraordinary precisely because they were earned quietly, diligently, and without shortcuts. So stop talking so much. Stop seeking validation. Stop promising what you will do. Keep your head down. Keep moving. Keep building. Focus on producing, improving, and creating impact. Let your actions accumulate, let your effort compound, and let the work speak for itself. Because when results finally appear, they will be louder than any words, clearer than any explanation, and more powerful than any opinion. And in that moment, the world will finally hear you. Not for what you said, but for what you accomplished.